Hey MD, Branch 1 here, IFBB Pro and Teen MD Athlete, getting ready for the 2015 edition of the Arnold Classic, going for my 3rd title. I've been a professional bodybuilder since 2001 and been bodybuilding for 23 years. I've been in Metro Gym for that whole time. And over the course when I was a young man, one of the most successful people I've ever known, and one of the pioneers of our sport, Ray Stern, gave me some of the best advice that anyone's ever given me. He called me up one day and asked me to go to lunch, and of course I went. And for whatever reason, I think he kept up with me, followed me a little more than what I realized. And I was a young man and I hadn't turned pro yet. And he told me, man, if you want to be successful in life, you need to surround yourself with successful people. And he goes, he knew I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder and be a good pro, and he said, you need to surround yourself with successful people in the industry. You know, successful athletes, successful trainers, you know, this kind of thing. And same thing with business. He said, you know, he wanted to be a successful businessman, so he surrounded himself with people that were successful in business and his chosen field, and he became a very wealthy man. So he gave me some other advice too, and I listened to him. He's one of those men that when he spoke, you know, people shut up and listened, and I had a tremendous amount of respect for him. And he passed away a few years ago, but I took all of his advice to heart, and I started doing just what he told me, and I severed some relationships I had with people and started new ones, and within a year my life had turned around, and I became a pro shortly thereafter and rose to the top. So I still follow his advice today.
You know, Branch Warren, he was one of those special guys that even when he very first come in here when he was 16, you could see he had a type of muscle maturity on him. I mean, that a lot of guys 40 years old, been training all their life, didn't have. His calves were already probably the best in the gym. His legs already had a good sweep on them. You know, he probably weighed 170 pounds, but you could see the potential was there. He won every teenage contest he ever entered, and then we started putting him into the open class. He started winning those too, you know, and I mean, you know, really, I mean, I never doubted Branch from the start. When he was 19, he went to the 93 teen nationals. Jay Cutler was the man there to beat. Branch, you know, defeated him fair and square. He was a light heavy, Jay was a heavyweight, but Branch's hardness and just that graininess, you know, is what won out over Jay's massive size. You know, I've never doubted him ever in any endeavor. You know, he's my little brother, he's my hunting buddy, and we've climbed to the top of the mountains and brought down big animals, and you gotta have heart to do that, you know, you really do. I mean, it's not something for a squeamish, and you know, as you see by his workouts, they're not for the squeamish either.
Branch, come on. What I like to compete against as far as past Arnold champions, I don't know, man, that's a tough question, man. You know, they were all the greatest. A lot of those guys went on to be Mr. Olympia. So, you know, I think from a lot of the guys from the 2000s I've had the chance to compete against, but you know, from the 90s and whatnot, it'd be cool to stand against those guys, you know, the Rich and the Flex, the Sean Rays and Mike Francois and all those guys, man. It would be Kevin LeBron. All those guys would be cool to compete against them. But that was, you know, I have a ton of respect for those guys. They came before me, you know, because of them we get to do what we do.
I can't
he doesn't really know how to do the light squeezing, technical type training, intricate that a lot of these pros do now. You know, I don't really know which way's better. You know, I look at myself, all the injuries I've had over the years. You know, I'll be 58 this year. I have lots of injuries that are attributed to 5 years of doing this stuff as hard as I could. But then when I look at other people my age, I'm still way better than them. I'm still way more mobile than them. I'm still way more flexible than them. So, I don't know. You know, I look at some of the pros and they brag about never being hurt and never lifting heavy, and they look great. You know, but those are people that are super blessed. You know, with you know, just the right genetics. You know, I mean, Branch has great genetics. You know, they kind of talk like he doesn't, but he has great genetics. I mean, a guy like that. That's why his legs are the best in the world. That's why his calves are so freaky. I mean, you know, that's why he's able to get so hard, is because he has great genetics. Maybe they're not as great as Phil Heath, but, you know, his work ethic, you know, makes up for that. You know, people doubt him all the time, but guess what? He keeps coming back. So I have no doubt that he will do well at this show as long as he's judged fairly. You know, bodybuilding, it's a little different now. By the standard of today, I don't know if Ronnie would have ever been a Mr. Olympia. Dorian Yates for sure wouldn't have been a Mr. Olympia by what I see a lot of these contests being judged on. But, you know, to me, it's really, you know, it should be a combination of, you know, symmetry, of course, you know, massive development and freaky muscle. You know, I mean, it's a bodybuilding at the pro level is a freak show. It's not the aesthetic look of Arnold's day or earlier. You know, it's a freak show, and it's, you know, whether he wins or not, he's going to be a people's champion. People are going to love him because they know of the work ethic and all the things that he's overcome. You know, when you work your butt off and go to a show, come back from pretty much being written off never to win again, and get back into the top 6 at the Olympia. You know, I mean, when he didn't do well a year or so ago, you know, he had to diet the whole year. I mean, the whole year of dieting, and you know, I don't know anybody in the pro level who's done that.